The countdown to the May 29 elections in South Africa is well and truly underway, and it's been quite a litigious election so far. We've had the story of Mkhonto Sizwe parties facing expulsion. The ANC are up in arms. They're unhappy that their logo, their Liberation Army name has been taken, and that there's a similarity in colours. But that's not the first time this has happened. The Economic Liberators Forum, as it was known, had similar colours to the Economic Freedom Fighters in South Africa. And if you shorten the name, you've got EFF, which is the party most people know, and then ELF. Now, if you say it quickly, it sounds the same, doesn't it? Well, they're now known as the Economic Liberators Forum of South Africa, and Hulisani Mani has vowed to approach the court after the country's electoral body, the Independent Electoral Commission, IEC, had barred its registration as ELF since the Economic Freedom Fighters, the EFF, objected over branding similarity, saying it will confuse the voters. However, the IEC has since approved their new application to contest the upcoming elections as ELF SA and a change of colours. Hulisani Mani, the president of the party, joins us in studio now to discuss this further. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Welcome to the program.
No, thank you very much. Greetings to you and the listeners.
So, come on, let's be honest.
Yeah.
What were you doing when you're setting up your party and the logo and the colours?
I think we must tell all the listeners that our party, our organization was started in 2015, 8 years ago. It was always ELF. Even when you go to our social media sites, you will see that our logo of Africa was always red.
But you weren't a party then. You
No,
were
we were
just
a
an
forum.
organization, right?
Yes, we're a forum that
Yeah.
was mainly focused on organizing businesses back then.
So no one was going to vote for you at that stage. So it didn't matter whether you were red, green, yellow, or anything.
Yeah, but the party that were alleged that will look like them, on their logo, they only have a small line that is red. And if really red was the color that they associate with, it was going to be dominant on their logo. The dominant color on their logo is green.
Do you agree that when you say EFF and ELF, it sounds similar?
No, it is not the same. ELF and ELF
similar.
No, but maybe if you can say our name in full as Economic Liberators Forum.
But nobody says these things in full, though, do they? You say ANC, you say DA, you say ELF, you say EFF.
No, but our members are able to differentiate. I'm sure EFF is led by young people who can differentiate between ELF and EFF.
Well, the issue in the end is when a voter goes to the voting booth, is there a possibility that they may be confused between ELF and EFF?
No, I think the literacy level in South Africa is very high, which I think is above 95%. And I believe South Africa knows the difference between green and red. They were not going to be confused.
So you think you've been hard done by the IEC?
I think we were just undermined because we're a new party. Because number one, the objection by the EFF was raised on the 26th of October. The logo that we submitted to the IEC was only gazetted on the 1st of December. And Section 16 of the Electoral Act says that anyone want to object can only object within 14 days after it is gazetted. So IEC decided to sit with an objection without even them knowing that we exist. So initially they were supposed to respond to the secretary of the EFF and say, we're not aware of the organization you're talking about. Maybe you've picked up in social media, but in our table, there's no such organization. But they decided to keep it. And then IEC was like the one who were objecting on behalf of the EFF. But because the objection was not raised according to the Section 16 of the Electoral Act.
Why did you choose red as the colors to wear?
It has always been, no. We wear white t-shirts.
Yeah.
Our logo is the one that is red.
Yes.
So.
But I've seen you've never worn red t-shirts.
No, it was maroon, that color. Maroon and black. But currently, all our t-shirts that we've been distributing, they are white.
Okay.
With a red logo. And those that were alleged to look like them, their logo is green on a red garment.
All right. I'm going to break it down a little bit for our viewers and listeners who might not be able to see. So both the EFF and the ELF have a map of Africa with a star. That's the first thing.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. Both have an something that looks like an arm. Yours is a road with a building at the top, but when you
With
look at it,
factories,
it
yeah.
looks like an arm. You would agree?
No, but if you break it properly, it doesn't.
But it looks like an arm.
No, that's simply a road with some crops.
Shaped like an arm.
No.
Doesn't that look like an arm?
No, it doesn't. Unless if you are looking at it, you want it to look like the alleged
Then
logo.
let's take a look at the spear, which has a black and white tip on the EFF logo. On your logo, you have a spear with a black and white tip.
No, we have a rope that has a sharp end. 2 sharp ends. That's not a spear.
That are black and white tipped.
Yeah, but that's not a spear.
What rope has a tip like a spear?
No, it's our rope because it was a sign of unity. And that if we're united, we'll be able to...
What is this at the top here? A rope doesn't have a spear tip.
No, our rope does have. The one that we came up with on our logo.
All right, so you're adamant you weren't trying to copy the economic freedom fighters?
No, we're not.
All right, so what does the Economic Freedom Liberators Forum stand for?
Yeah, basically, as Economic Liberators Forum was saying, for the past 30 years, South Africans have been promised a good life, jobs will be created, free education, free everything. And it has not worked for 30 years for our people. In a sense that if you are to analyze our economy, most people who are benefiting is mainly Indians and white people. But those who fought for this democracy, their intention was to make sure that everyone has an equal opportunity, everyone gets empowered economically. But from where we're sitting, there have not been much of the transformation. Even the procurement system of government has failed because they will appoint Hulisani to say supply papers for printing. But Hulisani does not manufacture the same papers. We still buy from the same minority who were in charge before the democracy. Meaning that the current system is not benefiting our people. So what we're saying to South Africans is that you don't have to wait for anyone to come and address your economic issues. We need to learn from Indians. We need to learn from the African speaking. We need to learn from the English people. So that, because they are organized. They didn't wait for government to create jobs for them. So as black people and mainly coloreds, we're waiting for government to create the jobs. But what the Indians did, they've built their own economy. Basically, I'm inspired about how the Indians are organized. They were able to build their own economy and they're employing one another. So as black people were all queuing in government department and municipality because there's not a single economy that we're in charge of. At some point, I wanted to convince myself that we own the taxi industry. Then I realized, no, even the taxis were not producing them, were not financing them. Even the parts, the consumables, bricks, tires were not even producing anything. Basically, we're just a face of the taxi industry on its own. We own nothing. From the food that we eat every day, we don't even produce. But we're in majority we're the consumers. So what we're saying to South Africans, instead of waiting for someone to come liberate us, we need to organize ourselves and build our own economy as black South Africans and colored. Because we're at the back foot at this particular stage.
All right, so I mean, there's quite a lot that I want to unpack with you, and I'm curious if you say that people shouldn't wait for government. That then means you don't need to be a political party. You could have remained as a forum.
No, what we're saying is that when once we enter government, it is easy to provide support to people who are already organized. Because that way, when they're already organized, it becomes easy now when you want to support them. Because currently now everyone amongst blacks and colored is running their own race. And we have a common enemy that is poverty. And the only way we're going to defeat it is when we work as a collective. It can't be correct that in a place like Soweto, you have over around 355,000 households before counting the back rooms. Each and every one amongst them, they are buying vegetables almost every day. But we still have black farmers who don't have access to the market. But we're the ones who are consumers. And that is happening because we're not organized. So we're saying government, it will be easy for government to intervene with support when our people are already organized. They are already trying to do something. So and one of the reasons why most programs by government have failed is because let's say you want to fund people who are in farming. They go take their brothers and sisters there who are not even interested in farming. Instead of going to organize, people are already doing something in farming. So we're saying let's organize South Africans. Once they're organized, it becomes easy for government to intervene. It becomes easy for them to approach government so that we remove red tapes. So our aim is that let's organize South Africans. Then we'll be able to achieve this economic liberation that we want to see.
All right, so we're going to take a break, and I hope I get a chance to ask you a question about what inspired you, because I know you lost your father and corruption's a big issue, so maybe we can chat about that soon after this. So I know that your father lost his life, and it was around speaking up against corruption. Is that part of your inspiration to fix South Africa?
Yes, I draw my inspiration from him because I remember when he was shot in 2019, it was after he exposed the 311 million, which was invested in VBS. By that time, the municipality couldn't afford to pay salaries, and he was a shop steward. So he spoke out. I remember a week before they shot his friend, Timson Musecho, who was in the NEC of SAMU. He didn't run away after Mr. Musecho was shot when he was in hospital. He spent a week, he was still in Venda there. I remember he continued speaking out. He even tried to go to the police station to seek for protection, but the police didn't attend to them. But what inspired me that even though it was tough, even though he knew that his life was at risk, he didn't run away. And he didn't back off. Because I remember even the executive mayor then was recalled, MMC on finance, they were recalled. That was when eventually they decided to kill him. So when I look at his death, I say he's a soldier who died in a battlefield. And even if he was to wake up tomorrow, he was still going to speak out because he died fighting for what he believed in. So at some point, I started to develop fear to say maybe I must not confront issues because I might be killed. Then around 13 August, I was in ICU. According to the doctors, I was gone. My entire system was collapsing last year. That was when I realized the fear of death, which I was running away from, it has visited me without anyone trying to kill me. Meaning that death cannot be the reason why I must not confront the truth, because it visited me without anyone trying to kill me. So I look up to my father, and we're prepared to die in the battlefield if needs be, so that our people are liberated economically.
Thank you so much indeed for joining us, and we wish you the best as the Economic Liberators Forum of South Africa, ELF-SA. President Hulisani Mani, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
No, thank you very much.
All right.